Welcome back to AHGP, everybody. Welcome back to a little bit of F1 Manager 22, even though it is 2023. On the day that we saw Red Bull reveal the RB19, well, what could be the RB19, never quite know with Red Bull, and their liveries reveals can leave a few questions as to whether it really is their car for the year. As I've put in the chat, let me know your thoughts on the Red Bull season launch. It was pretty painful up until the point they actually unveiled the car, at which point I decided I'd had enough and turned off because I'd seen everything I needed to see. Although Stefano Domenicali clearly did not want to see the car, apparently he missed his cue. So yeah, there'll be an inquiry there as to how that managed to happen. So we've seen 2 cars now. We've seen, well, I say we've seen 2 cars. We've seen 2 renders of cars. The Red Bull and the Haas. I quite like the Haas livery. I think if you look from the front, it looks like a white car. If you look from the side, it's a black car. It's a very clever sort of visual trick, I'd say. Let's get some sound back up in here. I turned the master volume down in the game so that just in case it was coming through. Let's get my headphones not connected to my phone. Let's get them connected to PC so that I can actually hear what's going on. Yes, Tom, it is the GOAT himself. It is Nicholas Latifi. But he won't be with us for very long. Unless we decide to get rid of Albano. So that's kind of the first piece of business for today. So let's change our channel. I'm going to be a bit smaller. And, well, let's dive on in to F1 Manager with Williams. If I can get the correct screen up. There we go. Let's continue. So I loaded the save up earlier. Haven't done anything with it though. Just thought it'd be better to have the screen in the background as we joined the stream. So we've got Alex Albon and Nicholas Latifi as our drivers at Williams. The aim is to take Williams all the way back to the top, win the World Championship with a driver, but just with the team. But we can only use rookies. We must have a rookie in the car every single season. So essentially, we're going to be changing the lineup every year. There won't be any of this, keeping a pairing together that's doing really well. We are compelled by the rules of the save to change a driver, and it must be a rookie we put in. We can put in 2 rookies if we wish. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. The first season is probably going to be quite tough. We're probably not going to have too much to do in the first few races. We'll probably just be languishing at the back somewhat and just go from there, I guess. We've got to develop the car, and then as soon as they allow us to develop stuff for next year, I think we'll just put full focus on that because we know this car is not very good. So, first order of business, let's say hello to Nicholas Latifi. Well, it's up to you. Let me know who we should get rid of. Should we keep Latifi, or should we keep Alex Albon? And should we put in, let's say, Logan Sargent? I mean, he's going to be in the Williams in 2023, so let's perhaps put him in now. Or do we pinch? Where is he? See if I can find him. There he is. Let's see. What about Piastri? Should we go for Piastri? Still be a rookie. We could also put Jack Aitken in the car. Although he has done an F1 race. Technically still a rookie though, because he hasn't done a full season. Who else is pretty handy? I mean, Jake Hughes has been doing pretty well in Formula E, so maybe him. Can put 2 rookies in, because that went so well fast. Yes, they had a totally smashing time in the worst possible sense. Keep Albon, sack Latifi for Vesti or Logan or someone, just anyone then, yeah, Tom? Maybe Drogovic. Let's put a poll in the chat then. Start a poll. Okay. Pick the new driver. Sargent. That's not how you spell Sargent. Vesti. Actually, I'm not going to use Vesti because In a personal save that I was doing, I was using Fred Vesti at Aston Martin. Yeah, anyone except Latifi. What about Lance Stroll? So yeah, Vesti I used in my personal save. So where does that leave us? Let's put Jake Hughes and who was my other option? Let's we won't choose Piastri. Let's suggest let's go by overall rating. Jack doing his own overall 72. He's technically an Alpine reserve. Vesti, Daravala, Nick De Vries. See if we could pinch him from Mercedes. Let's put in De Vries. Pop that in. No to a Lance Stroll. Okay, so drivers. Let's have a look at cars. Can we build anything quickly? Yes, we can. Let's have a look at the car performance. We are 19th or 17th for everything. Good start. Really good start. We are weakest in low speed, so let's do something that's going to give us some low speed stuff. But then balancing act, isn't it? Let's go with an underfloor. Being the slowest. Actually, no, we're not. We don't have the most CFD time, do we? Because Williams were 8th in 2021. So let's use 20 wind tunnel hours. Drag reduction. Let's bump that up a wee bit. Low speed, medium speed, high speed, airflow sensitivity. Let's stick 5 engineers on that. 1.1 million of our $19.8 million budget gone. Okay. We'll get the suspension bit through as well. That is the obligatory thing. Eilert. Oh, what's Callum Eilert on there? Did we miss Callum Eilert? Kyle Collett. No, Callum Eilert's not in it. Sadly, I think Callum Eilert's a great driver. He's been doing excellent out in IndyCar. Let's have a look at the poll. Hello, Owen. Welcome to the stream. Good to see the Williams performance is accurate. Yes, it's going to be entirely accurate because we're going to be right at the back. Okay, so let's end the poll there. The people have spoken and the people have said Nick De Vries. Okay. Drivers. We're not going to bother scouting. George Russell. No, we're not going to go for George Russell. Or Lewis Hamilton. Where is Nick De Vries? There he is. 27 years old, from the Netherlands. Let's just propose a contract as car 1. Let's do 1 season. Give him a nice salary. Actually, let's check what Albon's wage salary is. Contract. He is on 6 million. Latifi is on 600,000. Okay, so back to Nick De Vries. Where are you, Nick? There you are. Proposed contract. Car 1. Let's start with 5 million. Justice for Eilert. Yes. Okay, so because then he's round about the same as Albon. Starting bonus. Yeah, let's give him a $500,000. It's going to take some chunk out of our budget, but not a problem. Money isn't that difficult to keep to. If he gets a fat check anyway. Yeah, he does. Right, race target bonus. Let's put that down to 10th, and you can have 150,000 for a 10th place. Okay, so Nick de Vries replacing Nicholas Latifi. Let's send this proposal off. What's he going to come back with? Got some green arrows. He has accepted. Okay, good start. Really good start to the save. We have signed Nick de Vries as our replacement for Nicholas Latifi. Hire. Confirm. Excellent. New boss is splashing the cash. And we have 2 reasonably good drivers. That means we can now move on to, hopefully, the opening part of the season. Let's approve the party request. Who doesn't like a party? We've got FX de Maison and David Wheater as our staff. Now this guy has actually left Williams, so might be worth scouting for a technical chief. Yeah, scout for a new technical chief. He was a 74 rating, so let's scout this guy. Detailed. And let's do that by overrating. So yeah, he's the highest rated free agent, and then Celine David. Scout her as well. Okay, let's move on to the Bahrain Grand Prix weekend. Reach Q3. My word, they're ambitious. Reaching Q2 is even going to be a challenge. There's no point doing any of that. Finish position, finish at least 15th. Loss of 25k. Let's not bother with any of that, because we know we're going to be at the back. Talk about unrealistic aims from the board or the sponsors. Anything else we need to do? Not really. Let's go to the race. Tom doesn't like parties. Yeah, parties aren't for everybody. That's true. Okay, let's get some practice laps under our belts. Let's not worry about putting Jack Aitken in the car. Let's just simulate qualifying. And then we'll figure out the setup from there. Right, so shock horror, Max Verstappen tops the times. We are bottom. We're actually matching the Aston Martins for pace. Lance Stroll slightly ahead of Sebastian Vettel. That's going to be our battle, and we're looking to reach and pick off. I mean, McLaren are so bad in this at the start. It's outrageous. There's not been a patch to like change any of this and bring anything a bit closer, which is a shame. Okay, so we've got setup confidence for 65 and 64. Let's see if we can do anything about that. So let's bring traction that way a bit. Braking stability needs to go that way. A bit less oversteer. Straights. We need to. There we go. Just bump that down. Stability on the brakes needs to stay good. Right, let's try that for De Vries. Massive oversteer for Albon. Cornering, he seems fairly happy with the cornering. Okay, let's go with that. See what happens. I mean, we're not going to do amazing. We'll just simulate the session and then we'll go to the race. I wonder where we've ended up. Oh, we've actually out-qualified someone who wasn't a Williams. Nick de Vries. Look at the bits he's doing in this Williams. Just, it's so realistic. He's just doing bits. We've out-qualified Lance Stroll by 0.2 of a second. Albon, he must have made an error on one of his laps. We're actually 0.4 behind Sebastian Vettel. And we're a whole second off of Yuki Tsunoda for making it through to Q2. But, you know, that's still pretty good, I would say. Happy with that. P18 and P20 on the grid. Let's have a look. 87, that's why De Vries was so quick, because he's got 87% confidence in the setup. 69, not a very nice amount of confidence for Alex Albon. So let's go with our strategy. Might as well go soft, medium, soft, because we can. We have all the tyres available. All the tyres. Pace mode. I actually do this to start with. I keep them on like a normal standard pace mode at the start, so they're not like killing the tyres on the opening lap. We'll slightly overfill the car so we can push a bit more on the opening lap to compensate. There was a flash of white there and I thought a Haas was on pole position for a moment. There is De Vries, the number 45 on the car. Alex Albon. We're ready for the opening round of the season. Five lights in Bahrain and it's go. So let's jump on board. Down into turn one. And De Vries has lost that position to Lance Stroll. It lasted all of a few metres. So we'll just ride on board with Albon. We'll see just if we can hang on to the Aston Martins. Once the DRS kicks in, we should be alright. And De Vries diving down the inside. Absolutely dive bombing the Aston Martin. Can Albon sneak through as well? Here we go, round the outside. Is it a double move? Yes, it is. Absolutely love that. Look at this from Nick de Vries. Keep catching Lance Stroll completely unawares. It is Lance Stroll. But he's caught him totally unawares. Brilliant. And you might just see Albon here make the move. No, it's going to cut off beforehand. Excellent stuff. We like that. And now De Vries is actually having a look at Sebastian Vettel. We'll turn the ERS down. Hello to SHT in the chat. How are you? Who's your favourite F1 driver? First time on your stream. Oh, welcome along. Nice to have you here in the chat. So what we're doing is we're taking Williams back to the top, and we're trying to do it with a rookie in the car every season. So our rookie at the moment is Nick de Vries, who has qualified 18th, lost a position at the start, and then retaken that position from Lance Stroll, who's now last. Alex Albon getting a move done on him at the same time. And hopefully we can just hang on to the back of Vettel, who's dropped out of DRS range. We've got a yellow flag somewhere. What happened there? Is there anyone out of position? Doesn't look like it. Ocon just running wide. Yeah. So hopefully now we can get the DRS on Vettel, and perhaps we can move into the lofty heights of 17th. Huge Fernando Alonso fan since started watching F1 in 2008, and you're from Singapore. Well, makes sense. Fernando Alonso did win the first ever Singapore Grand Prix. Slightly controversially. But yeah, I mean, Fernando is he's one of the biggest names in the sport, and he really, really should have more than 2 world championships. He was very unlucky in 2010 and 2012. But great to have you along in the stream. Thanks for checking out the channel. Here's Nick de Vries then, down the inside on Sebastian Vettel. We've got 17th place. We're about to lose 17th place because Vettel has DRS. So we'll just go to balanced on the fuel. We want to keep a little bit in reserve. We're not going to catch the Haas car ahead. We're already 3 seconds adrift of Mick Schumacher. But don't worry. Mick will throw it in the wall or something silly soon. So all good, all good. So yeah, by the end of this lap, we're going to be more than 4 seconds. There you go, already 4 seconds behind. And Vettel will just go through now with the DRS. And this is our fight now. Here comes Vettel down the inside with the DRS. Retakes the position. But now we'll have the DRS and we'll just go past. Just like that. Here comes De Vries down the inside. They're Rosberg and Hamiltoning it. And we're back in front. We're back in... Oh, we're not quite. We won't get the DRS. Vettel will get the DRS and is ahead. That's a bit of a problem. There he goes. Albon now has the DRS and he's going to go around that. No, boys, don't do that. Side by side. Sheesh. Albon now up to 18th. But they'll both now have DRS and potentially be able to catch Sebastian Vettel. Any teams you are curious with this upcoming season? Well, I think it's going to be quite fun watching Alpine because, first of all, they topped the midfield last year and hopefully they can sort of push on and progress closer to the top 3, even if it's just by a little bit. We need to see a team really break out of the midfield. McLaren have threatened to do it, but they've just kind of fallen back a little bit, especially with the new car regulations last year. Alpine have got the infrastructure and the resources to do it. It's whether they keep their technical team settled, and Albon has taken 17th there from Vettel. It's whether they keep their technical background settled, and also if the drivers Gasly and Ocon get along. I mean, I think that's going to be a story that rumbles all the way through the year. Excuse me. Yeah, whether they can get along and play happy families sort of thing long enough for them to get to the flag and pick up enough points is going to be very interesting. Although if they have a collision in the opening few laps in Bahrain, then that could really set the tone. So it's going to be quite interesting. Also Mercedes, they're the big one. If they get the W14 right, they're going to be back in the hunt for wins and potentially a world championship. And as much as the Hamilton-Verstappen season in 2021 was draining and at times it was actually kind of horrible to be involved in as a Hamilton fan, and Tom in the chat is a Max Verstappen fan, and proof that you can get along if you support 2 different drivers. But it was pretty nasty at times that season. But we still want to see that rekindle because I think everyone can agree we haven't had a satisfactory ending to that rivalry. I don't know if Otmar Safnauer will be able to handle Gasly and Ocon because he wasn't able to handle Perez and Ocon when they're at Force India. Yeah, there's a big question mark over the management, isn't there? Can Otmar get them singing off the same hymn sheet? And if he can, then they're going to be in a good position to do well. But if he can't, then it's going to be fireworks all the time. So we are currently well in this battle with the Aston Martins to not finish last. We are 9 seconds now behind Mick Schumacher. Almost 10 laps completed. I'm just going to speed things up a wee bit, because we're in this DRS train where we'll just go in front and then drop back behind. It's whoever's at the front of the crocodile loses the position. We'll just keep an eye on everything. We've fallen... Oh no, we're okay. We're right behind. So what we could do is... Would take a little bit of work here, but we could try and get both cars past and try and block the Astons. But let's wait until later in the race for that to unfold. We've got plenty of fuel, and we can deal with that. We are struggling on tyres compared to everyone in front, especially with De Vries. So what I'm going to ask him to do is go light on the tyres. Albon is quite smooth actually. He looks after the tyres pretty well. Vettel, obviously because of his experience, is really good at it. So we've got a yellow flag. That is Sebastian Vettel off the track. Doesn't matter how much experience you've got, you can still make a mistake. Here it is. Little lock up. That's not going to do his tyre wear any good. And we are now in front. And Perez is locked up into turn... I bet that was into turn 1. So anyway, Saudi was the boiling point in 21. Yes, that really was. It really boiled over in Saudi Arabia with the brake check. And I mean, at the risk of sounding totally anti-Max, kind of was coming from his direction, but then, you know, Hamilton didn't go past when he expected him to. Hamilton did sit behind and put himself in a position where a brake check would cause a collision. So, you know, you pick a side and you pick an opinion, but at the end of the day, it was a thrilling race. Which team are you very concerned with this season? Concerned for Alfa Romeo, because they had a real slump in the middle of last season. So if they don't start the season well, or if the other teams have got on top of their cars, then I can see them slipping back down the order. Poor communication from the FIA to the team. Oh yeah. The whole situation was just really poorly handled. Great to see that Ford is returning as an engine manufacturer for 2026. Yeah, it's kind of ironic. Well, Ford was actually it was the team. Jaguar. Hamilton's had a spin. He's down to 16th. As we're flitting in and out of the real and virtual world here. And yeah, Ford was actually Jaguar, who sold up to Red Bull. And now they're coming back with Red Bull, which I find kind of ironic and funny. Let's... Gonna have to begin to focus on the old strategy here. The pit window opens in 1 lap. Albon has 51% tyres, De Vries 48%. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask Albon to don't fight your teammate. De Vries is going to go aggressive. He's going to push. There we go. Oh, Stroller's got through. That's an error. That's a mistake on my part. And now Stroll is probably going to get past as well on De Vries. But De Vries is slightly pulling away. DRS will bring the Canadian back into play. Ron Meadows didn't know. They were giving the information out in all sorts of ways. It was just a mess, wasn't it? SHC says Alfa Romeo as well. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people will be concerned for Alfa Romeo because I don't think Bottas is a poor driver. I think he's a very good one, and I think Zhou has a lot more in the tank than people give him credit for. But I just think that team is... there's a bit of a question mark hanging over it. Let's go overtake, deploy, on De Vries and really go for it. Let's see if we can get away. We'll bring him in this lap onto medium tyres. Let's ride on board with the Dutchman a little bit. Talking of Alfa Romeo, that is Valtteri Bottas ahead of us. De Vries has actually pulled just over a second ahead of Stroll now. Now Albon is right on the Aston Martin's tail. Vettel is still a little bit further back. We'll keep Albon out a little bit longer. How many different drivers on the podium in 2023? Oh, if I was going to pick a number. Well, so you got 6, all of the top 3 teams' drivers. I'm going to go for both Alpine drivers, so that's 8. Norris, 9. Alonso in the Aston. I mean, we know what he's capable of. I'm going to go for at least 10. At least 10, right. De Vries has pitted. Let's sort his tyres out because he's going to chew through them if we don't do something about that. He has come out ahead of Stroll with a 3-second lead now. Albon's still going. He's up to 12th. But if we have a look behind us, there is an angry train of cars starting with Esteban Ocon. Optimal pit stop lap. Let's bring Albano in.
Okay, box.
Yeah, box.
Let's close
There's
this gap.
several cars coming out the pit lane.
Copy.
De Vries is just there on his own with Stroll chasing him. Hamilton is in 18th position. 10 or 11. Hulkenberg, of course, yes. Multiple cars have crashed. What has happened? We've got a virtual safety car. Bottas and Alonso. We've got damage to Albon's car. Okay, so he's... Let's replace the front wing as well. What's happened here? Picked up some damage to the car. So, Bottas has stopped and then Alonso's hit him. And Albon's driven into the back of Alonso. We've got a VSC. So what we can do... Oh, no, we don't want to pit. Neutral harvest. There's a penalty for somebody. So let's just keep an eye on this for when the VSC is ending. Albon will drop behind several drivers. It's actually out in 18th there. Comes out behind Vettel. We're still under VSC. Just conserve the tyres, harvest the energy. The VSCs take a long time in this game, weirdly. We're still under yellows. We are ending soon. So we can go back to normal racing speeds. We can actually push on the fuel with both drivers, actually. I mean, it doesn't really matter about engine penalties because...
Heads down, focus.
Copy. It will we'll be at the back anyway, so we'll just take podiums anyway. Hulk on the podium would be a great story. He deserves to go on. Yeah, but he does have this weird magnetism to barriers when he gets in a position to get one. So I'd love to see it happen. I'd absolutely love to see it happen. I'd love to see Haas get on the podium because I think that would be a great story for them. Got another yellow flag in Sector 2. Mick Schumacher, there you go. I told you he'd make a mistake, but sadly we are miles behind. There is the Haas. De Vries is coming to get you. Let's have a look at... Stroll is 4 seconds behind us. Vettel is a further 5 seconds back. Oh no, De Vries! He's locked up and he's gone wide. He's taking the Lewis Hamilton route through turn 4's exit. But he's okay for now. We'll take that down to balanced.
We want to leave court, please.
Okay.
So Stroll is now just on the bubble of 3 seconds behind. What's Albon up to? He's right on Vettel's tail. This is the battle we need to be watching. Because Alex Albon is about, I think, to pass Sebastian Vettel. And what we're going to do, we're going to go to deploy. And with DRS, we're going to go on board here. And we're not making it. Vettel's on hard tyres. Both the Astons are on hard tyres. No wonder their pace is terrible. And De Vries is locked up again. Deary me, come on, Nick. Right, light on the tyres. Calm down. Albon's through. I have to see a replay of that because we missed it thanks to Nick De Vries locking up. Here we go. Down the outside with the DRS. On the brakes. Yeah. I don't know if it was just me, but I was actually waiting for Vettel to spin there. Because we've seen that before. Here's the reaction in the garage, yeah. Guy there just wearing his helmet anyway because... Okay, can we pull away from Vettel? I think we should be able to. De Vries was pulling away from Stroll, but then he keeps locking up. So we'll just go to neutral on the energy for Albon. We'll fast forward this a little bit. At the top of the order, Leclerc is edging out Verstappen, but they're nip and tuck. Verstappen's probably about to go back through. Sainz is in third. Russell's up to fourth. Okay. So let's just slow this down a bit. So we've opened up a bit of a gap on Stroll. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 2. That better not be De Vries locking up again. It was Ocon running wide. What's Albon's lap times against Stroll? We're a lap quicker. This is probably mostly because we're on faster tyres. It's also Lance Stroll. I can see Haas being like 7th in the Constructors and getting points in numbers of occasions, but for the rest I think they're still quite far back. Yeah, Haas are going to... If you have a look at my A Good Season Is playlist, I said in that about Haas, they've got to be really race efficient and take every opportunity that comes their way. And that goes for both drivers, because if they can maximise those opportunities on the crazy days, because there's going to be a couple of them, we know that. In fact, Albon is battling with Stroll. We should be watching this. He's just got past him, but Stroll's got DRS. But yeah, Haas, they should be looking to make the most of every wild race that there is. And then that will really propel them up the order. Be a good story if Hulk gets his first podium and becomes the first Haas driver to get a podium at the same time. It'd be a very nice story. Maybe that's what he's been waiting for. Maybe. If I keep looking this way when I'm talking, it's because I'm looking at the chat, and in my brain I'm talking to you over here. That's what it is. Magnussen also needs to have clean race starts as well. Yeah, he needs to keep that front wing completely intact. Just noted Bottas is 18th. He stopped twice. Oh, he had the damage, of course. So we'll probably lose a position to him. Have we pulled enough away from Stroll? Not yet. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 2. We've had a crash. That is Leclerc, and that is Verstappen. What is going on here? Charles Leclerc looking down the inside. And, oh, they've banged wheels, and weirdly Leclerc goes straight on into the wall. I'm not sure who's at fault for that. And then they're nose to tail again. Leclerc has the penalty. But Carlos Sainz has the lead. De Vries, 3 seconds clear of Albon. Stroll is right on our tail. Insert shocked face. They raced so clean all of Bahrain last year. Says Stroll with the DRS. Bottas hunting this pair down. I think if we really opened up Albon again and asked him to push, we could definitely do that. We can ask De Vries to push, actually. How long have we got to the pit window? 10 laps. Let's bring that back up to standard. See if De Vries can get through turn 4 without locking up. Yeah, I mean, Stroll hasn't been able to get through. Bottas is about to overtake Stroll. I think maybe what we do is wait for Bottas to come through and hook onto his DRS and just let him drag us through. He'll bring Albon up to De Vries, but then we just do the same with De Vries, perhaps. Don't think Leclerc had his nose ahead then. But he was on the inside of the corner. So, I don't know. Who makes these racing rules? Who knows? We are almost a second clear, actually. Not quite a second, so we won't be clear of DRS, sadly, for Albon. But still, 16th and 15th. Maybe we should have gone for that bonus of a car finishing in 15th, because at the moment we're there. 9.5 seconds off of Mick Schumacher, but still. Let's speed things along a little bit. Still got 20 odd laps to go in this race. We'll try and do Jeddah. Well, we'll definitely do Jeddah in this stream as well. Verstappen there in second place. He is falling back from Sainz a little bit. Okay, so we've got Stroll right on Albon's gearbox again. Let's just ease back on De Vries, who seems to have got all of his snatchy brake syndrome out of his system. 6 laps to the pit window. Let's just move things along again. We're not quite able to get out of DRS, and it's because there's 3 DRS zones. I can't really justify going full beans with Albon again. But Stroll is on the hards and he's not quick enough to go past us. So let's just sit tight for a moment. Catch up with you later, Tom. Hope you have a good weekend. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, see, it's just hovering around that half second and second window. Bottas hasn't got past Stroll either, to be honest. They're just stuck in a DRS train. Alonso's part of that now too. And we're actually sitting fairly pretty. Alonso passes Bottas in this little crocodile. There you see it. Now, of course, Stroll and Alonso will go a bit longer because of the hard tyres, and so will Vettel. Bottas is around the similar sort of tyre life as Albon. They pitted on the same lap, remember, because of the damage. But that worked out all right for us because we essentially got a free pit stop. De Vries will have to come in a bit early. How long has he got? 1 lap till the pit window. And that's just the pit window, so it's another couple of laps after that. But he's all right at the moment. Let's just see how things unfold over the next couple of laps. Previous lap times, so 41.7 for De Vries, 41.6 for Albon, 41.7, 41.7, Vettel 41.4. But he's 5 seconds behind. There goes... Stroll has gone in early there. He's boxed a bit earlier. So now actually we can push with Albon. Leclerc has spun. And he is now still 4th. But going to be coming under pressure from George Russell. Albon, okay, there's no point pushing because we're just going to get caught by those two. He's actually closed the gap down to 2.5 seconds on De Vries. De Vries actually doing a pretty good job despite the couple of lockups. We've had another crash. What's going on here? It's not De Vries, is it? No, he's still there. Who's crashed? It's a Haas, and that is Zhou Guan Yu. It's Magnussen, and he's just driven straight into the back of him. Nice one, K-Mag. Don't know how that doesn't constitute a safety car, but anyway. Okay, so we're close to the pit stop window with De Vries. Be the optimal lap the next time around. So here we go. Optimal lap. Soft tyres. All good with that. Box. Alonso is now passing Albon. No, I don't think we can. So what we can do is this. So we can do that, and then
box this lap.
we go here, and we delay it by 1 lap. So we'll do that. De Vries has got Magnussen, who's just pitted right on his tail. And now in front of him. What is Albon up to? He's just behind Alonso. Where's De Vries? He's come out behind Stroll. Stroll's managed to undercut us. And he is on mediums. So this is going to get a bit racy towards the end here. Albon should be pitting this lap as well. Let's harvest some energy with him. We are a lap down now, and De Vries is back in front of Stroll. That's the power of the soft tyre for you. Albon will be doing something similar fairly shortly, I would imagine. Where is he? He's not that far behind. 4 seconds roughly. We have lost the position to Bottas. Has he stopped? He's got to stop again though, Bottas, unless he's taking that really old set of mediums to the flag. No, he's boxed. So that could be useful for us. Where is Bottas? There, he's just into the box now. And we're through. And let's get the lap times up. Albon 58.3, but he was in the pits last time around. Stroll's hanging in there. We'll keep our tyres in good shape, because then we can always attack if we need to. Albon closing up, hopefully. He's got Bottas right behind him. But that might be useful, because then Bottas will string us along. So we'll just speed this up a little bit. We'll lose the place to Bottas here. Or not. Still in front. Let's get the intervals up. Stroll has actually fallen 2.5 seconds off of De Vries. There goes Bottas. He will now string us along to the Aston Martin. And then hopefully we can pick off Stroll and finish ahead of both Astons. And that would be the aim of the game in the first season, is to just try and beat Aston Martin and try and pick up a few points. I did a save with Aston Martin, and the first season was difficult. It's just, you just felt like you were butting up against a brick wall the whole way through. Alonso's in the pits and will exit behind us. Okay, so we've got a 2-second buffer with De Vries. Let's push, and we'll deploy with him for a couple of laps and just open that gap up. In fact, it is Bottas now who is there, so there's probably not really much point in doing that at the moment. Here's Albon. He's got the DRS, but nothing doing. We've got to wait for Bottas to clear out of that DRS range, and then we'll be able to get past. And that should happen about now. It has. Now we can pass. I thought we were slowing down with a engine problem. No, we're just being lapped by Perez. I think that's Perez. That is Perez. In fact, we've just mugged Lance Stroll. We've just mugged him on with DRS. Here we go. He pulls over to let Perez through, and we just sweep past. Ever the opportunist, Alex Albon. Brilliant. Now we need to get away from the Aston Martin. Where is De Vries? He's actually hustling Leclerc, so that's useful. If we can stay with the Ferrari, we can pick up DRS. So we'll just, we'll do that, and we'll have some DRS, and Bottas will also probably have some DRS. Albon has pulled out a 1.5 second gap to Stroll. That's it, Nick. Just sit behind the Ferrari. That'll do. Happy days. Darn blue flags. Yeah. I was having a heart attack. I thought the car was breaking down. How you doing, Ribs? Good to see you in the chat. De Vries is about to overtake a Ferrari. Here we go. It's Ocon and Verstappen vibes. We've overtaken a Ferrari. There's no point overtaking the Ferrari. That's it. Just let him back through. Have the DRS. Just take all the good bits. Bottas is now right on us. Leclerc is probably thinking, what are these pesky backmarkers doing? Don't overtake him. Just stay there. And don't let Bottas pass. Where's Albon? He's not closing up, really. No, there's no point. Don't go. Why are you going past him? Now we won't have DRS. Nick, you silly sausage. Albon is 3.5 seconds ahead of Stroll, so I don't think we need to worry about the Aston Martin right now. We'll just drop him down to light to conserve the tyres. De Vries has absolutely blown this because we could be finishing 15th, but we're going to finish 16th because Bottas is going to go through here. There he goes. What could have been, eh? But still, actually, 16th and 17th, not so bad. As we move out of the way for Perez to come through again, we're right on the Alfa Romeo's tail. And there's Albon in the background. So maybe, just maybe, no, Bottas is going to go with the Red Bull. And that'll be the end of any hope of a top 15 position. Did we get DRS there? Leclerc in the pits with 5 laps to go. What's going on with Leclerc? Changed. Bizarre. Ferrari strategies, eh? Absolutely. They have no idea what they're doing. Just Williams things. Hashtag just Ferrari things with the strategy. Although to be fair, Leclerc did take... Well, I say he took off Verstappen. They banged wheels and Leclerc somehow got the penalty for it. Then he also did have a spin. Okay, let's fast forward this to the checkered flag. In fact, Alonso is closing in on De Vries. We've got a yellow flag somewhere. Norris has spun. Yeah, he's just got the fastest lap, but he's thrown away a third place. Alonso is actually in front of Albon now. We're 7 seconds clear of the Aston Martins, so that's fine. I'll take that. De Vries is having a happy old time in 16th. So we'll just see this through to the checkered flag. I don't know if Alonso will catch De Vries in time. Probably. De Vries has just locked up again for the third time in this race, and he's just thrown away a good finish. He ran wide. Now he's letting the Ferrari back through. Okay, so Albon will finish ahead. We'll finish 17th and 18th. That's fine. Another driver won, yes. Carlos Sainz wins the opening race of the season. We're going to finish 17th and 18th.
That's the flag.
But we beat the Aston Martin, so that's a positive start. Leave a like for beating Aston Martin in a Williams, with both Williams. Look at our fastest laps. We were a second lap quicker at our peak. De Vries a 37.8, 3/10 slower than Albon. That was probably because he was too busy locking up. Okay, on to Saudi Arabia. We should maybe also invest in some facilities. Car development. What is it? Operations. No, it is staff facility. Race simulator. Yeah, that's the one to upgrade to really improve the drivers. Let's do that. How much we got? That's 19 million. Scouting department. Let's not worry about that. Factory wind tunnel CFD simulator. Yeah, let's update. Yeah, let's go. Let's go big. Spend some money. Up and coming driver. Suspension part. The obligatory suspension part. We need to manufacture that. Suspension. Number 2. 4 bits. Will they come in time for Saudi Arabia? I think that's just a week apart, so probably not. No. Not quite in time. Right, let's have a look at the performance targets. Reach Q2, a little bit more realistic this time. But probably still over ambitious. Qualify 15th. We won't qualify 15th. Fastest lap. There's no way we're getting the fastest lap. Qualify 15th or higher for 3 races in a row. That's not going to happen. None of that's going to happen. Alright. To the Jeddah Corniche circuit we go. And again, we'll just simulate to qualifying. Again, we're mixing it with the Aston Martins. We're kind of equal to them. But the setup confidence is poor. So we need to bring a bit more oversteer out of the car straights. We need to do that. Traction's okay, the cornering is bad. How are we going to change that? Let's try that. A bit more front wing into it. Let's do that, and then traction. Cornering. Let's go with that. Yeah, we'll just try that. Okay, so braking stability we need to go that way with. And the cornering as well. I think that might do alright for Albon. Let's throw those setups on the track and see what happens. Does this game want to simulate the nearby missile strikes? Sheesh, could you imagine if it was that realistic? Okay, 17th for Nick de Vries. That boy. Wow. Who have we outqualified? We've outqualified both Aston Martins with Nick de Vries. And we're only 2/10 off of Mick Schumacher. We're actually only half a second off of the other Haas of Magnussen. That is Nick de Vries doing bits. Albon deciding to put his feet up in qualifying and just pop in a 32.2. Okay. So there's a one stopper around here. Let's go medium hard with de Vries, and what we'll do with Albon, we'll go medium hard as well. That was anticlimactic. Okay, so select the driver options. 81 and 83% confidence. Happy days. Let's go to the race. I don't know. Is points a bit too much to ask in this race? Is that getting a little bit too ahead of myself? Let's move back to the... Let's go to the start. We have 5 lights in Saudi Arabia. And let's go in the race to not finish last. Riding on board with de Vries, and this time he's held position through the first corners. We're actually looking at the back of Daniel Ricciardo. Albon's beaten Vettel off the line. Didn't overfill the cars this time. Half a second off Q2 for de Vries. Williams ain't bad at all. Well worth the money spent to sign him. That was the very first bit of business we did. Was part ways with Nicholas Latifi. For absolutely no reason. Stroll is already a second off of de Vries. So we need to get Albon past him. Let's go back to balanced. To neutral. Is this the moment? Stroll's on the hard tyres. What is Vettel on? He's also on hard tyres. Aston Martin love the hard tyres. But they've closed up. Because we went down to balance, we're just going to fall right back from Ricciardo here. Tell you what, we're going to push. We're going to deploy. Can we stay in that DRS zone and try and go with them? Because if we can, that'll make the race, especially for de Vries. Albon is still stuck behind the Aston Martin. DRS enabled. We are just over half a second behind Ricciardo, who's actually out of DRS range on Schumacher, and Albon has passed Stroll, which we missed. There you go, gets down the inside. As soon as you get into this position in Jeddah, that's it. It's done. Usually. De Vries is just hanging in there. But Albon is he's going to lose out a lot of ground. De Vries got DRS. He has. Now we can just sit with Ricciardo. And perhaps we can close in on Schumacher and Tsunoda up ahead. And we're actually having a look at the McLaren. We've gone past. Not quite. Well, Ricciardo's on the hard tyres. That explains a couple of things. What are Schumacher and Tsunoda on? Schumacher's on softs, as is Magnussen. So they're going to be in like 2 laps' time. We've got... There's Mick Schumacher in the wall. Mick Schumacher has thrown it at the barriers in Jeddah once again. And we are just hanging out with the Honey Badger. Where is Albon in relation? He's 2 seconds behind, but he's a second and a half ahead of Vettel. So... very happy with this. Low expectations at the moment, of course. Get the low-hanging fruit. Just watching this gap to Ricciardo. It's just over a second. It's hovering around a second. Did we get DRS? Because if we didn't, we are... stuffed. We didn't. So Ricciardo will now pull away from us. And we might need to do a tad recovery of energy. Let's harvest some energy. Our race isn't with Ricciardo, let's be honest. We're in a Williams. Our task is to make sure we don't get beaten by Aston Martin and make sure we're close enough that when Schumacher or Magnussen make a mistake, we can beat them as well. But also this circuit has the ability to throw up the occasional safety car. So it's not all done and dusted yet. We've got to be in the right place at the right time. But at the moment, there's not really a whole lot going on. Because Albon dropped back, then he's kind of out of the picture. We're kind of in Nowheresville with both cars. Both running in clear air. Just got to manage fuel and tyres. And most importantly, don't crash. Please don't crash. We want the other cars to crash. We are now just about 4.5 seconds behind Ricciardo. Albon is almost 3 seconds behind De Vries. Just have a look at the lap times. So De Vries a 39.1, Albon a 39.3. Stroll and Vettel, I think they are side by side. They're battling each other. Yeah, and Mick Schumacher, so that's why they are falling behind, as well as the hard tyres. And here we go, some drivers in the pit lane, so we're going to have a couple of positions here. Magnussen and Norris pitting for hard tyres. I think they're going to try and go to the end from here. Let's extend our stint. So it's usually a cut and dried pit on lap 20, go to the end if you start on mediums, or pit on lap 30 and go to the end if you start on hards. If we can just long it out a little bit, that will be really useful. We are now coming under pressure from Lando Norris in the other McLaren, but that's fine because we'll just let him do the donkey work once he gets in front. That's the idea anyway. Safety car lap 26 is Ruby's prediction. For those of you in the chat, tell me if and when you think there's going to be a safety car in this race. I'm gonna say there's going to be a safety car around lap 35, and it's going to be completely unhelpful for us. Here goes Lando Norris down the inside on Nick De Vries. Don't think we're going to be quick enough to hang with the McLaren. He's already out of DRS range. So that idea is out the window already. What's Magnussen up to? He's still there. Vettel is 2 seconds behind Albon, who is 3 seconds behind De Vries. The guys who voted for De Vries earlier in the stream, they have done me a really nice bit of business there. Pit window entered. Pit window active for Albon as well. They're not can't quite pit them on the same lap, but because De Vries eats his tyres a bit too much and Albon looks after his, we can actually pit De Vries at the right time, and then Albon can last a little bit longer. We could probably get to lap 22 here. Give ourselves a little bit more wiggle room. Magnussen's starting to come through now. He's overtaken Albon, but he is, of course, on fresh tyres. We've got a yellow flag and it's gone. Schumacher with a lockup. Of course it was. Who else would it be? We're almost at the optimal pit stop lap for De Vries. Oh, okay. We are at the optimal pit stop lap because we were watching Albon. Let's do that with De Vries.
And box.
We'll attack with the Dutchman. We will ignore for now with Albon. De Vries is currently 14th and under pressure. Into the box he comes. Let's watch the stop. Make sure it's a good one. Looks tidy enough to me. He'll come back out in 19th, but he'll have a little bit more speed than those ahead because of the fresher tyres, of course. Albon, we can keep going with Albon actually. Let's see how far we can go with the tyre driver. Because you've got some drivers around us who will be pitting soon. So Stroll, Vettel, just them. Ricciardo's out of the picture. What's Snowder on? He's recently pitted for hard tyres. He must have started on softs. So Albon, yeah, he's going to come out of the pit window. Still with 42% of tyres left. De Vries is closing up rapidly on Vettel. He's 1.5 seconds a lap quicker. That's going to be useful when we see the Astons go into the pit lane. Albon could get to probably lap 26 here. The predicted safety car lap by Ruby, of course. Let's bring him in for some hard tyres. Where is he at the moment? He's on lap 20. Is he on lap 26? He's on lap 25. We're almost a lap down. Okay, so let's delay by 1 lap. Let's push and go aggressive on the tyres. Where's De Vries? He's not that far behind Albon actually. He's going to come out pretty close. Well, I say pretty close. The gap's going to be much bigger than I expected it to be. Take the tyres back down to standard. Otherwise he will end up in the wall. Disappointingly no safety car on lap 26. Yeah, sadly the prediction was wrong. If there is going to be one, it's going to come at a time that's completely not helpful for us and involve cars that are behind us, so we gain absolutely nothing. But Albon into the pits. De Vries now closing in on the Aston Martins. He's come out ahead of Schumacher. We don't really need to do very much at the moment. We can actually take it easier on the tyres. Because we're catching the Aston Martins. The more we look after the tyres now, it'll pay us back a little bit later, which is always good news. Albon has come out last, but he'll have some pace about him now. Mick Schumacher's on our tail. With the DRS, but his tyres are much older. Very nice amount of tyre wear. He's actually going around the outside of us there. But his tyres will age and he will come back to us. So I'm not worried about that. Also, we're not pushing on our tyres. And now, De Vries will have the benefit of DRS to stay in touch with this lot. And Schumacher may even pit again towards the end, and then he'll have to make up some 20 seconds. Just bring it back up to standard so the pace is there. What we will do, the first sector of this lap, we will harvest with both cars. Just get some energy back into the packs. So I think we're looking at somewhere around P16 as a result. Which would be really good. A 16th and a 17th in the opening two races with what is essentially the slowest car on the grid. And a rookie, I might add, in the car. And there's Mick Schumacher going up the inside of Vettel. And Stroll is in the pits, so that's an easy position for us. We are about to get lapped by, I think that is Charles Leclerc. It is Charles Leclerc. There's Albon, who is already a lap down. But has Stroll 4.8 behind on medium tyres. So we'll have our work cut out to keep the Aston Martin behind. Especially for Albon. But De Vries is looking pretty handy. We've lost 3 seconds to Schumacher through the being lapped process. Not happy about that. I am happy about going back up the inside into the final corner. Very nice stuff indeed from Nick De Vries. Can he hang on to the position into the chicane? He can. All right, let's push. Let's get away from Vettel, who's actually still not pitted. He's got 40% tyres. So, yeah, pull out of the DRS range. There we go. Let's see if we can do something about Schumacher, because P16 is now looking much less likely. But he's about to give up some time to be lapped. Now just over 2 seconds behind, but I'm guessing Schumacher will have DRS here maybe? No, Leclerc is pitted. That is that Sainz? Yeah, it is Sainz, sorry. I was looking at Leclerc in third and thinking, why is there a Ferrari and not a Red Bull? So Sainz leading. He'll come through and lap us again. There he goes. And Verstappen will come through as well. Hopefully we'll be able to pick up some DRS from these two. Not at the moment. And probably not at all. So where's Albon? Vettel still hasn't pitted. Clearly he's paid for his tyres. There he goes into the pit lane. And Albon will move up into 18th. Alright, so we've got a 5.6 second advantage, 5.4 second advantage over Stroll, and Vettel is further 8 seconds back on the Canadian. So we're looking pretty good to beat the Aston Martins again. Of course, all of this could just come undone if they score a single point and we don't. Let's speed this up a bit. Albon is locked up. What's happened to him? He's thrown away a position. He's gone... It's exactly where Schumacher went up, but he hasn't hit the wall, fortunately. But yes, he has lost a position to Stroll. He's 13 seconds behind De Vries. Okay, let's try and catch up. Wheels, tyres are a bit warm, so probably need to go light. De Vries is sitting pretty. As long as he doesn't make any mistakes, he'll be fine. What's the lap time delta? I mean, De Vries is actually faster than Stroll. Go figure. I mean, the simple explanation is it's Lance Stroll, but still. 1.2 seconds. That's a huge margin. Is Albon able to catch? Doesn't look like it. It's bobbing up and down. It's actually increasing. Stroll is starting to close the gap. Maybe Stroll was being lapped. Maybe I was doing him a disservice there. But he's still a long way behind. Schumacher into the pits. And that lockup has cost Albon finishing ahead of Stroll and potentially Mick Schumacher, who is now on mediums. De Vries still 9.5 seconds ahead. We are light on the tyres, so that's fine. We'll just bring that all back up to standard. And this has kind of turned into a bit of a nothing race in the end. We're not really close to anybody. Well, I say that. Vettel's right on our tail, and we're probably about to finish last. Let's keep an eye on De Vries. He's now just under 9 seconds. If Vettel gets past, we'll be able to pick up the DRS, hopefully. Where are they battling? Where is Albon? There they are. They've got Hamilton chasing them to lap them. And Vettel's just had to do that and get out of the way. Did we pick up DRS from Hamilton? No. And now Vettel is going to have a look. He switches to the inside. He's down the inside on Alex Albon. And we are last and 16th. Stroll actually starting to close the gap significantly. That time around 7/10 quicker. But we'll have DRS against Vettel this time. Still no safety car. There's a safety car now. I'm throwing both drivers on soft tyres. And then we'll really have some fun. But I don't think the F1 gods are going to be that kind to us today. Can we have a look down into the chicane with the DRS? No, not going to get the job done that way. De Vries is just all on his own. It's a testing day for him. He's the only one on track. Just hang in there, Alex. Keep within that 1 second window. Or don't. He didn't. We're not going to get DRS. Albon is probably going to finish last. Yeah, we're When you've got a slow car, you can't afford to make costly errors like locking up and conceding 10-12 seconds. Because he could have been up and around where De Vries is, but now he's plumb last. If the safety car came out now, definitely time for a set of new boots. Absolutely, but I don't think we're going to be that fortunate, sadly. Mick Schumacher's passed Lance Stroll and is flying. That's the problem for us now, is Mick Schumacher in the Haas. So let's just keep an eye on things. He's going to be... He's in the 34s, we're in the 36s. He's 2 seconds a lap quicker. Absolutely no way we're holding that off. Yellow flag in sector 2. Who was the guilty party there? Daniel Ricciardo. But he's some 34 seconds in advance. And Schumacher now just a second behind. I think we're going to have to settle for 17th again. Albon is currently last. Let's put Albon on some soft tyres and see if we can't get the fastest lap. Why not? Why the devil not? De Vries is going to be passed here by Schumacher. There he goes. 2 former F2 champions, of course. If we can hang in there with the DRS, we'll get a chance. But just the traction. What is the fastest lap? Let's see if we can't find that. Doesn't actually tell us. Let's pause. So who's got the fast lap? Charles Leclerc. So it's a 33.1 that we're looking to do. Albon so far, his best is 36.8, 36.9. Yeah, hasn't got out of the 36s. So this will be interesting. De Vries has fallen 2 seconds behind Schumacher, but I think we've got Stroll covered. He's not taking huge chunks out of us. Although we're actually a second quicker that time around. Stroll probably having to get out of the way of some traffic. Okay. So let's go attack, push, and deploy with Albon. We'll ride on board, see if we can't set a fastest lap. Keep an eye on the sector times in the bottom right. Let's see if we can set some purple sectors. What's the first sector going to be like? It's coming up now. It's personal best. Probably need to get some DRS from someone. Is there anyone nearby? Norris. It's the next car coming up. 2 personal bests from Albon. There is a car ahead of us and we're catching.
Check the DRS.
Yes.
We're probably going to have to give that up a bit now. So it wasn't the fastest lap, but it was
You can afford to drop back.
a personal best. It's a 33.4. So we got pretty close. With a bit of DRS, we'd actually be able to do it, I think. Ocon's the car ahead. We need to have a bit more ERS. We need to charge it. Cheers for dropping in, Ruby. Good to have you in the chat. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch up with you soon. We are on the last lap. This is not Albon's last lap. I think he will get one more time across the strike. Okay, let's go attack, push, and
Go
deploy.
push. Okay.
De Vries is still in
Deploy.
17th.
Yep, copy.
Might as well deploy with him as well.
Use the rest.
Okay.
Can Albon get the fastest lap? He's done a personal best. What about the middle sector? Are we on attack? No, it's here we are, but it's only
Let's
not
check
even a
the
PB.
flag. Check the flag.
Across the line in 20th. Nick De Vries has finished 16th though, so that's pretty good. 33.4. We did with DRS we would have got the fastest lap. Well, maybe that's something we can try at every race. If we've got a driver in last, we can try and steal the fastest lap. Charles Leclerc has won this race. Carlos Sainz leads the Drivers' Championship from Leclerc, Verstappen and Perez. Look at Yuki Tsunoda up there in 7th, getting a nosebleed. Wow, he's never been that high in the standings. We'll move on through here. Experience for the drivers. Incomings are good, nearly $4 million in the bank. But that's going to bring this stream to an end. Let's save our progress. Williams. Brilliant. Let's change scene. There we go. Well, thank you so much to everyone who joined in, who sent a message in the chat, who voted in the poll, or just tuned in to see what was going on. Leave a like if you enjoyed the stream. Subscribe for more Grand Prix content. Ring the bell for notifications of when I go live, any videos. Check out my other content. What came out today? Williams is a good season is video came out today. Check out that playlist. I've done some stuff on Andretti Cadillac. My latest feature show was with Fraser Ford from the Inside F2 show. We assessed the rookies for this year. So we spoke about Nick De Vries. He's a rookie. We all know that now. We spoke about Oscar Piastri and about who's the other rookie on the grid this year. Logan Sargent, of course, at Williams. Yeah, so really enjoyed that stream. Thank you very much for everyone, for joining in, and I hope you have a lovely weekend. I will see you. Not sure when I'll see you next. There's a video coming out on Monday though, so make sure you're tuned for that. I'll see you very soon. Goodbye.